What happens when a film dares to tell the truth about life under dictatorship? In 2007, an animated movie emerged from France that wasn't just a story. It was a rebellion on screen. Unlike the cheerful, colorful cartoons we grew up with, this film used hand-drawn black and white imagery to depict fear, oppression, war, and exile. It followed the life of a young girl growing up during the Iranian Revolution, a girl who witnessed her childhood vanish overnight, replaced by restrictions, morality police, and the loss of freedom. That girl was Marjane Satrapi, and Persepolis was not only her story, but a mirror to millions who lived through similar horrors. And because it dared to speak the truth, governments tried to silence it. Although it's an animated film, the cast gave voices that carried heavy emotion and authenticity. Chiara Mastroianni voiced Marjane Satrapi, the protagonist, portraying her journey from childhood innocence to rebellious teenager to disillusioned exile. Catherine Deneuve voiced Taji Satrapi, Marjane's protective and strong-willed mother. Danielle Darrieux, in one of her final performances, voiced grandmother, delivering wisdom, humor, and resilience that grounded the film. Simon Apkarian voiced Abi Satrapi, Marjane's father, embodying both love and helplessness as he watched his country crumble under dictatorship. The original French cast brought authenticity, but the English-language version also featured remarkable names, including Sean Penn, Iggy Pop, and Gaina Rowlands. This blending of French artistry and international talent gave Persepolis a unique global voice, making it resonate far beyond France or Iran. In Paris, Marjane Satrapi prepares to board a plane today, but changes her mind at the last moment. She spends the whole day at the airport, reflecting on her life before her departure to France. During the 1979 against the pass, Margie's upper-middle-class family participates in the rallies, though she is forbidden from attending. Margie's uncle Anush comes to dinner upon release from prison, inspiring Margie with stories of his life on the run from the government. The Shah is deposed, and elections for a new leading power commence. Win the elections and impose strict Islamic law, forcing women to dress modestly and wear headscarves. Anush is rearrested and executed for his political beliefs. Over time, many Iranians escape abroad. The breaks out, and the Iranian government takes away even more social freedoms. Margie's uncle Tahir suffers a heart attack and must go to England for surgery, but only those approved by the Board of Health can leave the country. When Margie's aunt seeks permission, she finds that the hospital director is her former window washer, who is incompetent and submissive to religion. Margie and her father visit Khosrow for a fake passport. Khosrow is sheltering Niloufar, a woman wanted for her beliefs. When Niloufar is caught and executed, Khosrow flees. Tahir dies afterward. As she grows up, Margie buys on the lavender and wears Western clothing. When she rebuts a teacher's lies about government abuses, she is expelled. Fearing her arrest, her parents send her to live with her mother's best friend. Marjane is later sent to live in a boarding house with nuns. Margie makes few friends and feels isolated. After she insults a nun, she is thrown out. She moves from house to house until she rents a room from Dr. Redl, Frau Schloss, a former teacher with an unstable personality. One night, as she leaves a party where she lies about being French, Margie hears her grandmother's voice telling her to stay true to herself. She develops a relationship with Marcus, but it ends after she catches him cheating on her with another woman. Schloss accuses Margie of stealing, and Margie leaves. She spends the day on a park bench, reflecting upon her actions and realizing she has nowhere to go. After living on the street for a few months, she contracts and almost dies. She awakens in a Viennese hospital where she is allowed to make a phone call home. Margie returns to Iran with her family's hopes that the end of the war will improve their lives. She grows depressed and attempts. She dreams of meeting God, who insists that her time is not over. Jolted out of her depression, she attends university and starts dating fellow student Reza. While waiting for Reza outside, Margie lies to a police officer to avoid arrest for wearing makeup, saying a man nearby who had been ogling her had made indecent comments to her. Her grandmother is disappointed and tells her that both her grandfather and her uncle died for freedom and that she should never sacrifice her integrity. Margie gives a speech during class challenging the sexist in the university's forum on. But both Margie's and Reza's families are fined when the two are caught holding hands in public. Margie and Reza marry, but divorce a year later. The fundamentalist police raid a party that Margie is attending. The women are detained while the men escape across the rooftops. One of them, Nima, falls to his death. Margie decides to leave Iran again. Before leaving, she visits the graves of her grandfather and uncle. Her mother forbids her from returning, and her grandmother dies soon after her departure. In the present, at Orly, Margie gets into a taxi. As it leaves the airport, the driver asks where she is coming from. She replies, Iran. She recalls her final memory of her grandmother. Here's where the controversy ignited. While the film was celebrated worldwide for its courage and artistry, the Iranian government condemned it as anti-Islamic and anti-Iranian propaganda. They claimed that the movie presented Iran in a negative light, focusing on human rights abuses, censorship, and the oppression of women under the Islamic Republic. Iran pushed for the film to be banned in many countries, calling it Western cultural aggression. Shockingly, some countries complied. In Lebanon, religious groups lobbied hard to ban the film, calling it offensive to Islam. At first, authorities agreed and blocked the release, sparking outrage from local filmmakers and free speech activists. After massive protests, the ban was reversed, but not without leaving a scar. In Tunisia, the movie faced violent backlash. In 2011, after a private TV station aired Persepolis on television, extremists attacked the channel's offices, accusing it of blasphemy and insulting religion. The channel's director was even put on trial for showing the film. For Iran, the ban was absolute. The film remains forbidden there to this day. What's striking is that an animated movie drawn in black and white was considered so dangerous that governments treated it like a weapon. That shows the power of cinema to challenge authority. Despite the bans and backlash, Persepolis became a global triumph. It premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in 2007, where it won the jury prize and received a standing ovation. Critics hailed it as a masterpiece that blended personal memoir with political history, and audiences connected deeply with its honesty. It went on to receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Animated Feature, standing alongside big-budget Hollywood animations, proving that animation isn't just for children, but can tell stories of war, oppression, and exile with equal, if not greater, power. In classrooms, universities, and film studies programs, Persepolis is often taught as both a political document and a work of art. It opened conversations about the Iranian Revolution, women's rights, freedom of speech, and the immigrant experience. For many Iranians living abroad, the film became a voice for their unspoken struggles. For Western audiences, it opened a window into a world they rarely understood. And perhaps most importantly for young women everywhere, Persepolis became a symbol of resilience, rebellion, and the right to question authority. Persepolis, 2007, was never just a film. It was a testimony. A young girl's story transformed into a universal cry for freedom. Governments tried to bury it, extremists tried to silence it, but his voice only grew louder. And even today, almost 2 decades later, its message is clear. Stories, even animated ones, can be more dangerous to dictatorships than armies. If you want more deep dives into the world's most banned and controversial films, don't forget to subscribe for the next one.